Jay-Z's team is pulling out all the stops to get his name off that suit or toss it all together. Well, I don't imagine this heated legal battle will be slowing down anytime soon, but I want to bring on now criminal defense attorney Mauricio Padilla to get his take on this latest court filing. I want to ask you your overall thoughts on this latest court filing from Jay-Z's team, where they argue the allegations are too old and occurred before the GMVA was passed.
Well, I reviewed the response that that Tony filed, and in that response, they pretty much get into the legislative intent. So they're looking at the actual law, and that the actual law, the intent of the law, is not to restrict victims from coming forward, but the opposite. So I think that's one of the things that the judge is going to have to really take a look at, whether or not the legislative intent was there to make this all-encompassing and to be able to have a situation where they're not restricting victims from coming forward, regardless of what the time frame was. I understand that from the perspective of the Jay-Z's defense team, you have to explore all options. But when it comes to a case like this, when you're dealing with a minor, minor at the time and a celebrity, for a judge to slam it down on a technicality is something that, I mean, it could be done. I would envision that sometimes you try and do it not because you think the trial court's going to go for it, because they may not, but maybe in the future the appellate court could reverse if the case law is there and if the reasoning is there legally.
Do you think that Jay-Z's team is kind of just throwing anything at the wall that'll kind of stick in order to defend their client?
Okay, well, when you have like a billionaire client, which unfortunately I haven't had one, but I can imagine, I mean, I've had wealthy clients, but when you have a client like him, I'm sure they're very demanding, and whatever they want, like, he's spinning his wheels. So the lawsuits against the lawyer that filed, it's like a law firm all of a sudden is taking on this role, and they're just billing and filing and doing all of these things. In my opinion, it doesn't look good. If Jay-Z was my client, I would be like, let's deal with this case, and whatever you want to do regarding the ethics or of the attorney and all that, let's hold off, because when you do it, it doesn't, in my opinion, it doesn't look good, publicly. When you attack the lawyers. And as a matter of fact, that last 5-page order that Judge Torres wrote pretty much roasted Jay-Z's counsel for, asking for relief that's not going to be afforded to them, or asking to speed things up. Because at the end of the day, the only reason you want to speed things up is because your client's Jay-Z, and that's not a reason to tell a judge that you want an expedited hearing, or and I think the judge made it clear in her ruling. And I think the judge also is trying to pump the brakes, telling them, pump the brakes on the filings, pump the brakes on what you're doing, because she already envisions that moving forward, it's going to be more of the same.